So we are waiting, as far as I understand, for Vasilisa, Dasha, Vika, right?
Right.
So we were waiting actually for the audience. Have you got any information? Is anyone going to come except these four and Antoinette? No?
Not really. Not
Really, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a sad news.
Christmas tree.
I have also Christmas tree. Сейчас I'll try.
Yeah.
I forgot where is it. Сейчас я. Где-то так вот. Вот.
Oh,
But it's far.
nice.
Yes.
Beautiful one.
Так.
So we're not going to have a good audience today, like pupils, yeah?
No, you aren't. Because I decided. No, at first I miscalculated the dates.
Yeah.
So I was wrong with the dates because I was sure that the 24th is the last one. It's this week I understood that no, it isn't so. And moreover, so as it was too late, so I wasn't sure that actually, how many of you are going to be prepared. Yes, and to base our class only on Mary and Vasilisa, it's just not fair enough. I'm not sure about this, so I decided to just to forget about this idea, unfortunately.
That's a point.
Oh, Vika. But microphone is off. Yes, hello. As far as I know, Dasha and Natalia are going to come.
You have new Christmas trees, so that's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
We are showing them obligatory.
well, that's nice.
To raise up the mood.
I must think about that. Okay.
You don't have a Christmas tree?
No, honestly to say, I have time for decorating.
No, yes. We did it at night.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
I will think. I promise on this weekend. Okay, I promise it.
No, it's much more interesting to live with it. At least one time a day, yeah, you can look at it and say, 2 weeks and New Year. So, and decide. So can you text please to Dasha and Natalia? Because as far as I understand, we are waiting for them. We need to have an audience because while Dasha is here, nice.
Oh.
Hello, Dasha. I hope that everything will be okay with your connection today.
I hope so.
But you have no camera. Or have you?
1 second. Natalia is going to join us.
And that's all, yeah?
Yes.
So only 6 people want to have a credit. Perfect.
Who run the world? Girls. Who run the world? Girls. Beyond so mood.
So meanwhile, let's pick the order of presentations.
Rock, paper, scissors. Type. Rock.
Who's going to be the first today?
And who is usually first?
Or maybe we should order them logically, maybe from more serious ones to less serious ones, depending on your topics. No, or just
maybe connected to the topics, something close. People can be close if their topics are close.
Okay, Mary is going to speak about emotional intelligence. Vika is about green card, right?
Getting green card, yes, the process of getting green card if you are in the America.
Okay, Vasilisa?
Work-life balance.
What?
Yeah, working offline, online. Again, no sound.
We can't hear.
Can you repeat, please? No, can you repeat just?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, now, yes.
I decided to call it work-life balance. So that the way we work, actually, about working and our social life. A bit.
Okay, Dasha, about English.
Bilingual.
Sorry?
Bilingual brain.
Bilingual brain. So sound comes after Dasha opens the mouth. And Antoinette, what's your topic?
It's languages, soft skills.
So, what is the logical order? It doesn't help.
Yeah, we're so different.
Probably there are some kind of topics like we may connect social skills and emotional intelligence, like somewhere in between.
Why not? I can be there somewhere also, with a bit of social.
Okay, let's do a different way. So, who is brave to be the first? No one.
Well, maybe I then.
No, okay, but that's good begin. As you missed all the actually all the classes. Yes, you may start. And girls, they are real experts. No, because they know the structure. Yeah, so just we'll discuss your presentation in a kind way. I mean that, so according to the structure which we had, but maybe we are going to, I guess, to make some maybe hints and notes, what should be improved, would it be better, and then you'll have an opportunity to change it, yeah, according to the course, to what we studied, to the course, and no, if it, maybe there is nothing to change, of course, but if there is, yes, you have time and opportunity to change it and do it in a better way. Okay, Antoinette will be the first, then girls. Dash will be the second. Давайте Машу оставим как лакомый кусочек.
Okay.
Yes. Because it seems to me that we are ready maybe to criticize and to listen to attentively the first 2-3 presentation. Then we are tired, we should just relax and take pleasure. Such an idea. Okay, then Dasha, then Vika has gone away. Okay, then Vika, Vasilisa, and Mary finishes. Yes. Okay. No, so we are to start. I want you to, try it's connected with all the presentations. Yes, our task is to learn how to do it. That's why we always need to be critical to others, critical to ourselves. Here, I mean, not at all, yes, but so try to be critical. Think about. Меня не слышно было, да?
Вас слышно.
Think about so the correct structure, all the techniques which are used in the introduction and conclusion, according to our book here. So the strong sides of the presentation, again, what could be improved. So I will ask everyone. I want you to think about it to be critical. It might be connected with visuals, yes, with any support, again with techniques, with the manner of speaking, with the speech. No, so I think you got it. So Vika, good news, you're the third one. I don't know whether it's good the news or bad news. You're the third one. Okay, you're welcome. You can demonstrate the screen and start.
All right. So, dear colleagues, dear audience, it's so great to see you here. So many faces.
Sorry. Have you got a visual?
I've got a presentation. It's going to be in PowerPoint, I suppose, and I will try to demonstrate.
Yes, you can demonstrate it. Oh, so this is square with on the right.
Let me try.
Yeah, and then so don't be in a hurry to start. First prepare in a good way.
So, let me know if you can see my screen here.
We can see your photo, not screen yet.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Now yes.
Okay. So fortunately, here we start my presentation about soft skills in a modern society. So on this presentation, we will try to share some unique, some useful experience in business communication and related peers. And I suppose I shall only take not more than 10 minutes, probably. And I've divided my talk into 3 sections. And in the first part, we will try to identify upon the topic of my presentation. Then in the second part, I will give you like the background of the subject. And in the third part, I'll be glad to answer any questions you have according to the current theme in the end of my talk. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So to begin with, let's try to identify the topic, yeah? So I've chosen the topic called soft skills, but what they might be in general. So ladies, what do you think? What are soft skills? How can we express and explain this? Who might give me a hint? Who has some ideas probably?
It's ability to work in any conditions, to communicate with people of different, then to solve tasks.
Okay.
Of different range.
Right, definitely. So according to the Collins English Dictionary, we may say that soft skills, they are desirable qualities for certain forms of employment that do not depend on acquired knowledge. Yep. So here today we will try to identify how soft skills can help us in business communication, like in general. Yeah. So nowadays it's really important to get the idea of improving the soft skills. And here we have some points, like somehow we'll get some benefits in the general work stage. So first of all, they are extremely helpful in gaining some ideas, some information, some techniques probably from people with different areas of experience, including the business one. Then they're so extremely good in providing your own perspective for benefit of others, probably for the company where you work for. And so that might be helpful somehow accomplishing tasks and collaborating with your colleagues, of course, with your team. And of course, it's so important to provide mutual supports for difficult situations that are really sometimes hard to navigate. Then, of course, to navigate some difficult difficult situations, we need to learn some opportunities to learn about them. Of course, for improving our work in general, we need to gain some feedbacks from colleagues or friends, trusted people who may personally affect your work and your skills and your qualities, and for whom you may do just the same to help them improve their soft skills. And of course, I think the most important item here is to make the workplace more enjoyable, more comfortable, more convenient in a general meaning. I mean, the atmosphere in your team, in your workplace, with your colleagues, and in such way. So talking about the soft skills in a general meaning, I suppose we need to identify some features of them. Like, how do we build the scheme of the soft skills? Like, what are the very necessary, the essentials of this knowledge? Yeah. So I suppose here we can see a colorful diagram in which we might see some goals, maybe some points like team spirit, empathy, assertiveness, self-promotion, etc. So all of those qualities are extremely important for the hiring process, the progress of professional network, and all the achievements and performing some career goals and contributing to some strong important things in the team while leading business and running it. So I think almost all people who are related to business here, they might heard about these qualities. Especially, it might be really important to have some people skills when we have patterns of behavior and interactions, some social skills like communicating and social rules that are appropriate in our society. And of course, communication skills like conveying and mutually understanding signs and symbols and semiotic rules. Then, of course, it's really important to have character or personality traits when your habitual patterns or behavior they are really clear, they are understandable for your colleagues, and your emotion really like readable, they are understandable. So that's why you're able to focus on your work and interact with the society around you. Of course, as we told previously, Mariah is gonna say some words about social intelligence, like as a capacity to know oneself and to know others. That's why I'm not going to take time on this. I will go further. So, of course, it's really high time to know about stress management when you're working in a team. And art of listening is also so important, and empathy and flexibility in time when you're trying to make your schedule in proper way. So that's absolutely needable to put attention on. So as soon as all features mentioned about this topic, I will try to give you like a short form of facts. How did we get this term of soft skills? And here we may see the circle diagram. How does it work? I mean, how do we have all those points of the process of functioning all the soft skills in the society? And while you're watching, while you're looking at this scheme, I'll say that generally soft skills, the term of them, was created by the US Army in the late 1960s in order to lead groups to motivate soldiers, win wars, and accomplish some task and political skills, which were yet catalogued or fully studied. So it was so extremely important to get it in a proper way to motivate the high audience and build them together. So generally speaking, soft skills, they are a cluster of productive personality traits that are characterize one's relationship in a social environment. So that's how the importance of soft skills lies in the fact that they are not restricted by a specific field. And somehow it's really like important to make your personality include all those necessary soft skills to function in a really great way, especially nowadays. So now society, of course, is flexible, is changing all the time. It's on the process, on the progress all the time. So that's why the high requests and broadly diffuse confusion about the meaning of the training, the soft skills, represent two elements that can explain the lack of soft skills in the job market. That's why some employers highly struggle to find some leaders, some performers and workers who are able to keep up with the evolving job market. And that's why there are so many webinars, seminars, some books, lectures, online classes, and many others to teach the young adults to improve their personality and engage their soft skills in the process. So that's why interest in this topic has increased over the years. And the more research that is conducted, the more people understand that the relevance of this concept is really high importance. And the huge amount of fund companies and worldwide organizations, they're investing the huge sums of money in the trainings and development of this field in the sphere that really shows the great interest. And even the European Commission launched the program Agenda for New Skills and Jobs in 2012, I suppose, in order to train and explain some people how to set all those skills. So to shorten up my speech, I will try to give you like a short tip how to improve your basic soft skills. So there are some points. First of all, we are supposed to get feedbacks for our intentions and works. Like probably all of us have some trusted people, some friends, some really great personalities surrounding us. So you're welcome to ask them for feedbacks upon your work, upon your goals, and upon your achievements to improve them, to find mistakes and correct them, of course, to make it better. So, of course, to achieving something great, you need to set the goals, of course. And when you're setting the goals, you know the route, how to navigate in the business sphere probably, and I suppose not even business, even in all other spheres as study and many others, even in family. You need to set goals to improve yourself, to follow them and to reach them. And for reaching the goals, for setting the goals, we of course need to find the resources. Usually resources are not only money. I suppose resources might be some books, some probably classes, some lectures. So there are going to be some sources where you can upgrade your information, renew it, yeah, and get something new, especially for you, necessary for you, for your certain situation. And of course, you need to identify the areas for your practice. Like when you get the new and fresh knowledge, of course, you need to practice it, to fix it, and to get used to it. So I think that's the general meaning of the soft skills. And therefore, let me summarize my presentation. So as soon as soft skills are presently tending to be extremely important, by the reason and in order to explain our social convenience, we should improve soft skills, and that will give us assistance in building international relationship and maybe interpersonal relationship and business plans. So the first step, improve your soft skills, gain your social convenience, build your interpersonal and business relationship, and that's how you will achieve the great success. So I think now it's time for questions. So if you have any, you're welcome to ask me, and I will try to do my best to answer them. Sorry.
No, girls, you're welcome. So I have one question. So why are you interested in soft skills? Is it connected with the topic of your thesis?
So I suppose I'm generally interested in social skills and soft skills according to my current job, like to my current job experience when I need to communicate with so many people every day as soon as I'm a teacher. So that's why I need to learn how to function in this sphere appropriately, to do my job in the best way. And as soon as people are so different, extremely different, sometimes it's really hard to get the idea how to interact with them. So sometimes soft skills really help.
So as far as I understand, you mostly identify soft skills with communicative ones. Am I right?
Mostly, yeah. Like it's a basement of the meaning, I suppose, of them. Like while communication, we function in the society, so why not?
I just can argue here because soft skills, it's quite like it's very no, it's not very different from communicative skills. It's communicative skills just one of the parts of soft skills, because actually soft skills, it is multitasking, and it is ability to satisfy the conditions which you're in. So I mean, to change your skills, to do different tasks, not only your professional ones, to understand the situation clearly. No, yes, so not only communication, but actually, so if you work as a teacher, you should be able to know all the computer techniques and all the last programs which should be used there. You should be psychologist because you need to understand, no, as you told, relatives or parents, your children's parents, for example, and so on and so forth. So I suppose soft skills, it's the bigger one. No, it's about the meaning. So as for girls, have you got any questions as for the content of the speech?
Yeah, so Antoinette, could you please get back to the slide with cybernetic system model? I just
once again, please. I couldn't hear you properly. Which one? Which slide?
Cybernetic system model. The slide with that.
Oh yes, sure. Just a second. I'll go right back. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, I just didn't get the idea of that model. So is it like a model of how soft skills work, or some other example? Could you please explain?
It's mostly the model of how the soft skills function. Like we divide it into separate items, like the controller, methods, goals, and feedback. So this is a circle. How does it function? Like controller, it's a person, yeah. He or she needs some methods and some means, yeah, like some probably people, some procedures, some materials, and technical knowledge, like something mostly for his or her job. And of course, we have all necessary tools for our job. We set some goals, like what do we want to achieve. And when we qualify in there, when we get our goals correctly, we need a feedback, of course, to improve our results, maybe to correct some mistakes sometimes and something like that. So this was.
Yeah, so it shows the way soft skills operate probably in our everyday life, yeah? I mean, step by step, so that, as far as I've understood.
They are mostly used step by step in our life, generally, yeah. And when I was preparing for this presentation, I found out a lot of information about hard skills either. And it's a topic for a longer speech, I suppose, but it's so interesting to compare soft skills and hard skills, the technical side of this question. So, and considering that they are functioning all together, like we cannot be just a communicative person to be the proper worker, for example. But as soon as it was mentioned above, we need to be psychologists. We need to be just a kind, probably sometimes, like to make up the atmosphere of your workplace. And also, it's really important to achieve some hard skills, your technical ability to do your job properly. So it's a really wide topic, I suppose.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
So what was the aim of your presentation? I just didn't fix it.
I suppose the aim of my presentation was to show my group mates, my colleagues, the one of the important sides of our job. How can we improve our not only skills, even but our job itself? Because as soon as we are studying business communication, I suppose it's really connected to the soft skills either. Like to build business properly, yeah, you may firstly learn how to upgrade your soft skills, how to build your own environment, the atmosphere in your team, probably. So that was the aim of my presentation.
Any other questions?
Are there any tests to assess your level of soft skills? Maybe some online tests.
I suppose they should be there on the internet. They might be there, but I cannot give you an example right now. Probably I should look it up, and then it's going to be a really perfect way to check our own soft skills. And I think as soon as some people are tending to get some lessons like webinars and seminars to check their result, I think they probably should take a test upon their soft skills.
Thank you.
Vasilisa wants to ask something? No?
I don't know, it's just maybe my personal thing. What do you think is maybe top 3 most important soft skills now in nowadays society? What do you think?
It's hard to say because they're so important. Maybe flexibility, probably ability to manage your stress, your emotions, negative emotions especially, and probably to have your empathy to other people. Like when you're able to listen to people, to understand, to get their intentions and motivation, it's easier to lead in the modern society. You understand who you're talking to and working with, something like that. And on the fourth place is going to be personal traits and character. Like when you're showing that you might be a leader, that you may show yourself, and then you may explain why you're deserving to be a leader. Like how can you lead your goals to achieve their goals and to teach other people probably something like that.
Thank you.
So let's come to positive sides and negative sides, some critics, objective one, and discuss the presentation, because there is something to discuss, yeah? At first, let us listen to you girls, then I will sum up, because I have some notes. Or maybe should I start? Or should you start? I don't know. Okay. About techniques, the structure of presentation, manner of speech, you're welcome.
Okay, I'll start. Antoinette had how do we call it? Like, yeah, a structure, presentation structure, like the beginning, and it was not so long as some people tend to do. And she had a conclusion where she, of course, made a section for questions, as it should be. I don't know about signposting between sections, but it's just my personal thing. I liked, and I maybe would like more, how to say it, not examples, but yeah, like some visionary things for, like, as she had an example with military, like where soft skills actually like originated, like the reason maybe. So I, like, maybe for me, just for someone who likes to imagine something, create a picture, so it's actually nice. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. So, but that was really good. I liked it, and the topic was quite up to date, maybe modern, how to say it, like we all need it nowadays, soft skills, so it never get old. It's old.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would also note that in introduction there were separate. I mean, the plan of the presentation was stated, and so Antoinette mentioned what she was going to talk about, and she also talked about the time of the presentation, which is essential as well. And speaking about, well, for example, credentials, probably there were no use of them because, well, we know each other quite well, and so I liked that some rhetorical questions were used in your presentation, so it grabbed our attention, and the quotations were used as well, which I liked, and at the end, so the conclusion was also separated from the main part, clearly separated. And in general, one more thing is that positive thinking was, I mean, that very feature was at the beginning, as well as time for questions. So I just mentioned, I've noted these things in your presentations as great done by you.
Thanks a lot.
Anything else to add? Dash, Vika, no? Okay. Let me say. No, of course, no doubt that so Antoinette has great language, great influential power. Yes, I mean, yes, you really have such a manner which is it and interesting to listen to. I mean, speaking, yes. So you are free in what you are speaking about, although there's great disadvantage. So I didn't stop you because it wouldn't be polite, but you should have video. We didn't even see, so you didn't even see our eyes. This is one of the main features of presentation. Yes, you should manage the audience, you should see their reaction, you should orientate, and so we should see your eyes, but we just saw a picture, voice and presentation, so it shouldn't be done this way. Yes, the beginning, I like the introduction. It was very lively. You used rhetorical questions. There was interaction with the audience. Yes, it's right. Although, so the structure wasn't obvious to me because you didn't have signposting, yes, as Vasilisa said rightly. So I mean, so during the speech, yes, you should have underlined. So okay, now we start with our first part, which deals with yeah, and then we come to, so now we come to this the second part of our presentation. So our commitments, speaking about techniques. While I'm not so for the common way, this is nice presentation, but for your level, it's not nice because you used what you know. Yes, no. So there were no new techniques. So, for example, I suppose in this presentation that could be widely used a personal commitment. Yes, to say we. No, because the topic is really nice. So I mean, you have a range of, you can use your fantasy here. Yes, have a range of possibilities what to speak about. So as for I agree with Vasilisa. Yes, it would be nice to have more examples. And as for manner of speech, you have very nice language. And for the audience, maybe it's not enough time to think it over. So use your pausing more effectively. Yeah, give time. If you ask, yes, when you ask rhetorical question, yeah, you give time. Everyone. No, it was not rhetorical, by the way. Yeah, she wanted to interact with the audience. Yeah, yes, but I mean during so you can make some pauses and give rhetorical questions. Yeah, if you, I even didn't hear quotation. Masha said about quotation, I didn't hear it. It means that, so you didn't give time to reflect. So you should have said quotation and then a pause. Yeah, so I suppose you should reduce your speech speed.
Okay.
Yeah, and this will be more influential. And no, actually, well, no. So no, I didn't hear any techniques which we studied, like hooks, except for quotation as far as the rhetorical questions. Yeah. The benefits. So you didn't quite say clearly the goal, the aim. Why did I ask you? Yes. So you can. What was your aim? To give the audience understanding that there is a necessity to develop their soft skills, or just to inform them that there are such. So pay attention. Yes, there are soft skills, or you would like to give them methods of developing them. So fix it clearly. Well, I just so I ask you, no, as you have a nice base, yes, for giving presentations. I mean your personal. So yeah, I don't know, personal, how the aura in English, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, so it says found that you're strong personality, have nice language, you can, yeah, and you have a great persuasive power. So, but as for our course, so I ask you what to do. Let it be, so we consider this presentation, yes, so it is done, I mean, as a credit. But for me, as a tutor, to understand that you did it thoroughly, I want you to study the techniques in the books and do the so you can do it with your presentation. In Moodle, there are different tasks, yes, to find quotations for your presentation, to choose techniques, maybe some jokes, stories to build them up for your presentation, or to give vital examples. So you can, I want you maybe to work with it in parts and to join it in Moodle, no, just for before we have credit time, okay? Okay. So I see that you worked with it in parts, you read the information, maybe you somewhere then if you give some techniques, try maybe to sign that. So this is technique, maybe in brackets of this one. So I should say that you analyzed it, yes, and realized it. Yeah, you can do it on with your presentation actually, and it will be nice in this case. So, but presentation is done.
Great.
That's nice. Yeah.
I got it.
And we can. So I'm waiting tasks from you in Moodle.
All
and
right.
That's all. And we meanwhile we come to the next person. I forgot who is the next person. Dasha was going to be. No, Dasha.
She will come. Just something happened with her computer, and she has to overload it to restart it.
Так, should we change Dasha? Vika, maybe you?
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope everyone will. What's that? Okay, screen 1, let it be. So I hope everyone. So let me do like that. I hope it's working. Okay, so everyone sees my screen. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So first of all, good evening to everyone. I hope that like my dear colleagues know me, but if someone forgets who I am, so I'm Victoria, and I am assistant of the American lawyer. So that's why I'm going to speak about green cards and how can we obtain and get it. So I think maybe for most people to get green card, it's one of the most like important dream of their life. So I hope that everyone will get it. So we will speak about it. And first of all, I want to share my own experience when I just started working as an assistant. And my lawyer told me usually like just check his or her green card. You will see like all information there. And I was a little bit confused because for me, green card, it was connected only with green card lottery. So just I thought that people got green card when they won this green card lottery, and that's it. But I wasn't right because green card has every lawful permanent resident. So that's why we will speak first of all about lawful permanent resident terminology. So how can we call legal immigrants who have this green card? So first of all, resident alien, LPR. There's like shortage of lawful permanent resident, or just green card holder. And today I'm going to speak only about legal immigrants. So, and if we just imagine, like we are all legal immigrants and we are in the USA and we want to stay there and to make America great. So, what is our process? So, first of all, we need to understand and to choose the category of our green card. So, there are a lot of categories, and I will speak about them, but usually this is family, employment, humanitarian, and refugee, and so on. And after that, then you understand what is your category. You will choose and you will complete all your document case for this and you will file. By the way, that's a very interesting thing that you can file by yourself without a lawyer. So you just complete all your file, your case, and just send by email. So that's very nice. But sometimes, not sometimes, honestly, to say that most of cases when people filed by yourself, they got some mistakes and they need to go to a lawyer and then after that correct their mistakes. So who may qualify for a green card? So first of all, we will think about family cases because this is the most popular uh, category. So for example, you got married citizen and now you are very happy and he or she, your husband or wife, can file for you, for your spouse. Also they can file for children of any age and parents and siblings. And also that's very interesting, I think. Permanent residents can also file for their spouse, children under 21, and unmarried sons or daughters over 21. That's also important because if you just married son or daughter and you are over 21, you will, after that, you will just try to relocate all your family to the USA. So that's also not nice. New immigrants, that's uh, we have our immigrants. So and if you um, so who may qualify for a green card if you don't have American husband or wife? So what can you do in this case? So first of all, you need to understand. So the first way you just can get a job and to be like employee in the American company. Also, you can qualify as a refugee or asylee. That's very popular, especially for the USSR countries like Georgia, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and others. Because I think in my personal experience, I have maybe 2 or 3 people who applied for a political refugee. And so what does it mean? So for example, you just get to the USA by your like visitor visa, and then you applied like my country persecutes me and I can be killed or something like that, and that's why I just can't come back to my country, and they will have like kind of asylum in the USA. But honestly to say now, like immigration court doesn't like all these political asylum cases, and sometimes they just denied all these all these cases. So people must, not maybe must, they have to come back to their country. And the very interesting case, this is diversity lottery, so this is green card lottery and other humanitarian or special categories. And for example, about special categories, my lawyer specializes in one of these categories. This is called VAWA category. This is abuse cases. For example, you got married to husband or wife. By the way, it doesn't matter, because I have some stories, maybe 5 cases now, when abuser was a wife. So it doesn't depend on your sex. So you got married to your American husband or wife, and during your marriage, you got some abuse. It doesn't matter, mental, physical. So just you can get abused like in different ways, and after that you can divorce and apply for your abuse case. So that's also worked very nice. And after that, then you prepared all your case, you need to send it. And sometimes you need to wait, of course you need to wait some time, maybe 2 or 3 months, and after that you just have this notice that you need to, like, invitation for your interview. And the interview, the most important part, because so for example, we also had this case, then like it was family case. She got married to the American citizen, and they got the interview, and they were interviewed separately. So, and they were asked the same question, but the answer were different. And after that, officer decided that he denied this case because of the difference of their answers. So please, if you are going to apply for the green card, please be sure that interview is most important part and you are ready for that. So, and after that, if you succeeded with your interview, how can you understand like that you got or you didn't, like you will get or you will not get your green card? So first of all, if your application is approved, the applicant will receive the green card in the email. So you just see in your mailbox your green card, and you will be happy and you will live in the America. And if the application is denied, you will also receive a denial notice, also with a mail. And then there are some different ways, because they can help and they just advise what can you do next, just for your case. Or maybe the third variant, you will like officer requires some additional information of your case. So in that moment, you need to prepare more documents just to prove that like this is my case, this is true, and I don't have any problems with that. And usually you have some maybe 2 or 3 months just to prepare and to send again by email all your documents. So, and here I just prepared some an example of the green card, so you can see like it's very kind of typical, but I like the most this part, then laser engraved swoosh. So this is like your surname, given name, and also like the date of your birth, usually the photo, surname, and this is US CIS number. So this is a number. Like every legal immigrant has his own number. So that's just for you, and this number will be for you like forever. So you don't need to miss it. And also this is category that I was spoken, like it depends on your story. Maybe that's family case, family category, diversity lottery. So also that's a very important thing. So, and first of all, I want to say thank you so much for your listening, and I hope that it was nice and helpful for you in your future. Maybe someone will help. I will help someone with a green card. Maybe someone will win this lottery. And if you have some questions, I will be glad to answer them. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you so much. What's that? Okay.
I suppose I've got a question. Victoria, could you please give some examples of questions that might be asked on the interview?
So once again,
Yeah, could you please give any examples of the questions that might be given on the interview or might be asked on the interview?
Okay, so this is the same thing with the same example with the story of the family case when they were interviewed, but they answered differently. So they usually, before that, in your story, in your case, you have like an affidavit. So an affidavit, this is like the document. Then you tell all your story. Like, hello, my name is blah blah blah, and I was studied. I was studying. I came to the USA, and all these things. We married. We are happy, and so on. And usually, your officer asked, based on your affidavit, on your document, all these questions. So for example, when did you, I don't know, when did you visit your family or of the parents' family? What did you do? What were you doing when it was like Hurricane Michael or something like that? And that's the very interesting case and story because this couple asked differently on this question. So just officer asked, what were you doing when the hurricane was? And she told like, I was in Florida with my husband and with the son. And he answered like, she was in New York, something like that. Like, really? So that's kind of very strange situation. But after that, usually you have, yes. So for example, if you go to, I don't know, let's speak about abuse cases. Yes, they will ask about when was it, or can you tell me that story in more detail and so on. Like that, or where did you meet, when did he propose to you, and all these things.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
Thank you.
In case if you win this lottery, so do you have to go through this procedure of interview as well?
Yeah.
And what do they ask? Because you just won a lottery.
They about lottery, that's very interesting because I also had a story. It's not my personal story, but one girl, she's from Orenburg. She moved to the USA, to Los Angeles. She worked as an actress, something like that. She got married to the American guy. After that, she got divorced, understood that America is not for her. She came back to Orenburg. Before that, she applied for this lottery. The most, like the funniest thing, she won this green card while she was in Orenburg. And the thing was, she had to go to the Yekaterinburg embassy because she had some problems with that. And also they just they usually ask, what are you going to do in the USA? Like, how can you earn money? What will you do? What is your like story? Do you have some education? All these things. And also that's funny thing about lottery, that before that you don't have to have like a passport, so you can apply for this lottery without passport, but now you must have some passport just to apply. That's
And
it.
one more question
Yeah.
about humanitarian categories. Are disabled people included in that category? Maybe if they have to go to the USA, for example, for a surgery or something, I don't know.
No, about surgery, we are speaking about non-immigrant visa. Because, yes, so I was speaking about immigrant visa, but usually, for example, if you need to do some surgery, you go by non-immigrant visa, but it's also, you must provide some documents that you are going to have this surgery and all these things, and you also will be interviewed according to this question about your medical situation and about your about nice cat. I like it. Hello cat. He also wants to have this green card for him. to Okay, yes, so but you will also have some interview during your medical situation.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions?
Continuing question of Mary about
Yeah.
this question session. So, if you suitably win this green card in lottery, so is some level of English still demanded? Because there is no such a demand while you're applying for this card.
Yeah, honestly to say, I don't have like correct maybe answer, because I can be not sure. But usually, yes, some of the people like they are asking about, and some interview were in English. But honestly to say, when you apply for this green card, like when you filling this form, you don't have any question about your English. So, and usually I don't have this like strict and important rule for obtaining the green card.
I'm wondering because I have another example. Yes, I know one family who they won this green card this year, and they don't speak English at all, and they are going to move to the USA. So
Lucky they are, you
and
know.
yes, and I just wonder how they're going to take this question session if it's in English. Okay. So have you got maybe any statistic or any data about which, or maybe your own opinion, which way, except the lottery, is the best to get the green card?
So of course it depends on your situation. So I think the
I
most,
mean the one
yeah,
which gets more positive answers.
I think the most positive, the most positive in every way is to get married to the USA citizen. So you just be happy with your life, yes, with your private life, and you will get your green card. But also, because if we are speaking about a refugee, like political asylum or VA, like abuse cases, you must provide like a lot of documents. So usually they are so tricky, and sometimes just court can decide it, like they can decide that you are not you're a liar or something like that. So it's not true. But as for me, I think like the family just to get married, or maybe just not okay, not maybe just to get married, but your family, your parents, or maybe your siblings also can help you just to be there. But you know, like the process is not so fast, and you can have this case maybe for 7 years. Sometimes it happens, so it's so long, but you will stay in the America all this time, so that's also nice, because after that you can just say like, hello, I was living in the America, in the USA for 5 years, and now I can apply for naturalization. So that's also nice way. Just for you, yes, you need to, yeah. Vasilis. Yes, keep notes, please, keep notes.
Just go there, live there for some time, waiting for a green card, and
Yeah,
here you are.
yeah.
And one more question about some cases of abuse. You told that we can write about it, then we are going to be questioned about it. So are these cases checked somehow, or you just can get married, or then say, okay, there was abuse in my family. Yeah, I want a divorce and I want to stay here.
So yeah, you must provide some like evidence of that. For example, go to the doctor, said like, okay, let's see this scar because he hit me, or yeah, bruises, just photos, some photos, or let's see he just this dog. Look, when we bought this dog, you know, like it was very nice and happy dog, and now this is, yeah. Sometimes they also abuse not only their wives or husband, but also dogs, animals. So something like that, or maybe some messages just it can be in Russian. So you just after that you translate all these interesting, I can say interesting messages between each other. Yes. So, but that's the proof that you are telling the truth. Also, there are some evidence of your friends, relatives that they also can provide. Like, yes, I know them, and I don't know, on December 25th, he hit her in my presence, and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, that's it.
Is there going to be a criminal case connected to this abuse? I mean, alongside with the green cards, are they going to raise a criminal case against the abuser?
Yeah, so that's very interesting because usually it depends, because they just gave to you like police report that this person can't come to you or something like that. He can't talk to you and all these things, but they don't have something like that, some criminal case, because this is just for you. You can go to the police and you must, but this is like immigration, and they don't connect with the criminal thing. If you want, of course you can go and prove it. Thank you.
Okay, nice. It's a question section is over. Let's come to critics.
Yeah. Yes. Please.
No, okay. Let me say yes, and then girls, I hope you will add yes, maybe about techniques. So yes, about what would you use there more. No, so I can say for sure that you didn't do your best.
I know.
You didn't care, it seems to me.
Because honestly, to say we don't have enough time, that's why I just didn't have. Maybe
Yeah, I
this
know
is
that.
just
Yeah,
excuse, but yeah,
yeah. Earlier you had much better presentations.
yeah.
Of course, speaking as for your manner of speech, I like it very much. I support the tempo and pauses and how free she is in it. Yeah, so actually she's speaking as a professor who's reading lectures for 30 years. I mean, she's so authoritative, really. Yeah, so when we're listening to Vika, and it's easy due to her manner of speech, it's very easy to listen to her. Yes. So I like that in the introduction you started with your personal experience. It's some kind of story, yeah, one of the techniques. So I didn't say, actually, you didn't name the structure, and you didn't signpost it during the speech. Yeah,
Because
so
you know, I'm sorry, but sorry for interrupting, but this is American manners. I'm sorry.
no, yeah,
America just involved me.
you should
Honestly.
just have the same. Yes, we are going to discuss today the ways how to get this green card. There are 4 ways. Da 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 da. So actually, you name the structure, and then every time when you move to the other one, you can signpost. Okay, let us finish here and come to the next. And that's all. So you don't need to invent anything. Just fix it somehow. Well, maybe something. There was not enough of illustrated examples or some visuals. I don't know what could be, maybe some humor, something possible. Was everything was so serious and profound. All this, the topic is about life, so to say. Well, so in conclusion, you didn't sum up. Yeah, so again, you should have named all the types. Yes, and briefly in one phrase, just so this type is the most successful. Then this one can be more difficult and apply this, but still you can try. No,
Yeah.
and I suppose there should be definitely some statistics here.
That's interesting. They don't have any statistics, kind of.
No,
But
why?
because
For example, I read the statistics about the how many people won the lottery. So I was shocked. So in millions, yeah. So it is great percentage. So no, why it raises up the mood.
But why we are still here?
Yeah, no. So this. So what else would you use, maybe, girls?
Yeah, at the beginning, Vicky just started speaking right to the point, and then it was just like, whoa.
No time to waste, you know.
Yeah.
No time to waste.
So actually,
Time
she
is
did
money,
it. She did it on the spot. I know that she did the presentation structure and did it on the spot. That's why.
Oh.
Great spot, but still on the spot.
Yeah,
okay. And what else?
I like your face with this, like.
I don't know what else to say. Just like this emoji.
You just got frustrated, like, where is my part?
Is this one positive or negative emoji?
Just like, I don't know what's happening. What's happening?
This is my life. Yes, this is my life.
Confused.
Yes. What is happening now?
No, in the end, yes, and I'm not only summing up, but some grab a hook. Yeah, that's the hook we use usually introduction, grab in the end. So I mean, maybe some successful story with photo, I don't know, happy people.
Sorry, but this is private information, and I can't.
This could be any photo taken from the internet. No one is going to check it. I mean that. No, for example, they were trying to get it for 15 years, and finally, you see, you hear such a name. Not just. Yes. No, something. Yes, something should have.
Yeah, so like continue believing in yourself. Don't give up.
Motivational.
Yeah.
Yes. Some positive framing.
Okay.
Again. maybe some you could have given some useful. So why is it? Of course, information is very useful, but you could again give some benefits. It was easy to do, yeah, to give some name of website or no, some helpful documents. I just you can find it here. So if you listen up to the end, you will know the website and you will get a range of documents you need for the. So if you want to get such a bonus, stay with me. Something like this. Yeah. Not suggest.
Yeah.
Have been more creative.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing to it, yeah? As far as I understand. Should we have a break or should we continue right now with this, the next presentation?
Maybe another one. No.
But it seems to me no logical because we had two and we three are left. Yes, Dash, you're going to us today, right? Dash.
Four.
Are you going to give presentation today?
Да, микрофон. Походу она говорит да. По губам так. Я читаю по губам.
But we can't listen to her according to her movements of lips. Опять не работает?
Работает, да? Не
Да,
слышно?
слышно. Теперь немножко слышно.
Okay, Dash, can you be the next one? Are you ready now?
Yes.
Or you would like to be next? Okay.
Proceed.
Not yet.
Окей, я подожду. Все, теперь включилась?
No.
Not yet.
And we and we will have no information about how we are going to pass session. I mean, so now we have all the classes, so credits on timetable at university. And we're still waiting, yeah, for some regulations about this. They were promised to go to start studying to university this week. No, not yet. Yeah, so probably that's why those who can't give presentation today maybe will be able to give it live.
Lucky ones.
But I don't know if we will be. Oh yes, Dasha, yeah.
Okay.
Чтобы Дашу слышать вообще бы. Dash, can you switch on the video, please? No, because we need to see how you're speaking while you're speaking.
Я подготовила такую презентацию.
What is going on?
То есть я не буду ничего показывать?
Почему? А когда вы показываете презентацию, вам же не надо включать видео? Мы в уголке все равно видим. А, да?
Да, оно может автоматически выключается.
У меня отключилось.
Да, оно отключается автоматически, если выпустить демонстрацию экрана.
Это вам не Zoom.
То есть вы тоже не отключали, Антонет?
Нет, я ничего не включала, просто когда демонстрируешь экран, он так в зуме не делает, не выводит в окошечко, он просто выключает видео.
А вот просто Вику мы видели. Вика прям говорит. Да.
А когда Вика включила презентацию, я стала видно.
Пошлите в Zoom защищаться.
Почему нет? Я Вику видела все время вообще, во время ну, когда у нее включена была презентация. Интересно. Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Daria Anisimova, and I'd like to talk to you today about the benefits of a bilingual brain. And it's good to see so many bilinguals here today. I have divided my presentation into 3 parts. First, I will tell you a little about the misconceptions of bilingualism, then I will try to explain the term itself and how the bilingual brain works. And finally, I will summarize the benefits of being bilingual. My presentation will take around 7 minutes. And if you have any questions, I'll be pleased to answer them at the end. Okay, let's start. First, I would like to destroy several myths about bilingualism. I will show you some. All these myths are wrong. You can become bilingual at any age. Bilingual knows the language to the level that they need them. Without special training, they often have no translation equivalent to another language. Mixing language such as code switching and borrowing is very common behavior in bilinguals speaking to the other bilinguals. Bilinguals, like monolinguistical, adapt their behavior to the different situation and people. And some bilinguals prefer to use one language, some the other, and some use both of them to express their feeling and emotion. Now that you figure out the myths, let's talk about the phenomenon known as bilingualism. About 33% of the world population speak 2 or more languages. In this regard, in the 14th of the last century, the term bilingualism was introduced. Understanding more than one language make it easy to navigate the world and interact with other people, but it's the cognitive effect of language acquisition that it does to the brain that's truly extraordinary. Learning how to think and communicate in another language gives our brain a powerful cognitive workout. So what does it really mean to know a language? Language ability is typically measured into 2 active parts, speaking and writing, and 2 passive parts, listening and reading. While a balanced bilingual has near equal ability across the board in 2 languages, most bilinguals around the world know and use the language in a varying proportion. Depending on the situation and how bilingual people acquired each language, they can be classified into 3 general types. A composed bilingual is an individual who learns 2 languages in the same environment so that they acquire one notion with 2 verbal expressions. A coordinate bilingual acquires the 2 languages in different contexts, for example, in home and school. So the words of the 2 languages belong to separate and independent system. In the subcoordinate bilingual who learn a secondary language, by filtering it through their primary language, one language dominates. Moving on to my next point, how the bilingual brain works. Have you ever wondered how all of this process occurs in our head? How does our brain switch from one language to another? Bilingual brains are more developed in areas that organize and process speech, the motor cortex that controls the lips and mouth, the Wernicke's area that the brain organizes language for active speech, the Broca area where language sounds are processed, and the auditory cortex where auditory stimuli is received. Recent advances in brain imaging technology have given neurolinguistics a glimpse into how specific aspects of language learning affect the bilingual brain. It's well known that the brain left hemisphere is more dominant and analytical in logical processes, while the right hemisphere is more active in emotional and social ones. The fact that language involves both types of functions while authorization develops gradually with age has led to the critical period hypothesis. According to this theory, children learn language more easily because the plasticity of their developing brains lets them use both hemisphere and language acquisition, while in most adult language is lateralization to one hemisphere, usually the left. If this is true, learning a language in childhood may give you a more holistic grasp of its social and emotional context. Now it's time to finally talk about the benefits of being bilingual. Regardless of when you acquire additional languages, being multilingual gives your brain some remarkable advantage. Some of these are even visible, such as a higher density of gray matter that contains most of your brain's neurons and synapses, and more activity in certain regions when engaging in a second language. Research shows that bilingual students enjoy better academic outcomes in the classroom. They demonstrate increased reading comprehension, better long-term memory, and find it easy to apply logic. The heightened workout a bilingual brain received throughout its life can also help delay the onset of diseases like Alzheimer and dementia by as much as 5 years. So I'd like to say that while bilingualism may not necessarily make you smarter, it does make your brain more healthy, complex, and actively engaged. Even if you didn't have a good fortune of learning a language as a child, it's never too late to do yourself a favor and make the linguistic leaps from hello to hola or bonjour to annyeonghaseyo, because then it comes to our brain, a little exercise can go a long way. And I would like to finish by quoting Flora Lewis. Learning another language is not only learning different words for the same meaning, but learning another way to think about things. Thank you for your attention.
Can we ask questions? Are there?
I have a question. So, Dasha, have you noticed any changes in yourself when you started learning English more thoroughly while studying here at master's degree program?
So repeat, please.
Have you noticed any changes in yourself when you started learning English more thoroughly? I mean, studying here at master's degree program. So now probably you have to use English more than you used to before, and maybe you notice that your brain started working somehow differently, that you memorize better, or that you perform some multitasking is easier for you, something like that.
Okay, it's an interesting question. I want to say that what changed? I think I For me, it's become hard to remember some Russian words because I remember only in English language. What does it mean? And it's hard to find some equivalents. I want to say in Russia, but I only remember in English language. What else?
Does it satisfy your question?
Well, maybe you noticed some changes in your memory. If there are, have you noticed something?
No, I don't see any changes in my memory. Maybe now I know so many language or so many words. Now I know so many words.
Oh, here I should comment that I suppose we can speak about these changes actually, and development of these changes when children start learning languages since their childhood. No, so it's quite a long process, yes, and it should be. I suppose it should take many years. A lot of them, yeah, probably.
And I also have just continuation of Mary's question. So do you think that now you have kind of linguistic personality because you are studying and developing your English? Do you just feel that you have it or not? So in
I
Russian,
might
it's
become
called
English woman.
no, because that's interesting. I can say just in my situation, then like this is kind of two persons. Then you speak in Russian is kind of one me.
Oh.
Yes, and then you start speaking in English, you are behaving differently because of language, because of the mentality, because you're studying like culture, and you just get everything, and kind of you're also changing. So do you notice these things with you?
Yes, I agree with you some aspect. In Russian, I'm one person. When I speak in English, I become American, like spoken with American accent, and with English accent, like hello, and etc. For fun, I think it's.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
It's interesting how different we can be, like speaking different languages.
Yes, that's true. That's why I'm just very interested in that.
But at the same time, we're like changing each other. Like my Russian self and my English self were like trying to communicate.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe not totally different. Maybe,
Yes, let's say bilingual have double or split personality, and it's wrong. I think some percentage people change their behavior and personalities and manners of speaking when they spoke in foreign language.
О, мне прям зависла так картинка. И вот я просто такая, и я ушла. Окей. Unexpected one. Я думала, я уйду первее. So we were on a break. друзья.
Yeah, it's time to
We
have
are
it.
going on break.
Zoom
Want
защищает.
to break free. I want to break free
Да.
from
Только
your
кто сказать, так это брейк или нет? Типа, где моя перемена, да?
love.
Девочки, а вы все уже, да, выступали?
Нет,
Надо-
еще
Нет.
пока.
Ты такая милашка, такая просто расстроенная, просто вы все выступали, да?
Нет, я просто очень бы хотела в следующий раз защититься.
Ну, надо, кстати, спросить, может,
Может, можно?
вживую даже лайв удастся тебе.
Ну, нет, я бы не хотела.
Она прям очень, как видишь, по Наташе, она прям очень хочет live version, прям ей очень.
Я тоже хочу лайв.
Мне как понравилась Наташа на последней паре с Любовь Александровной, типа, я как бы, а сколько у нас пар было? Это я вроде как бы
Да,
не
да,
пропускала,
да.
я помню. Это тоже было так мило. Я вроде пропускала, но вроде не все. Ой, это было так мило.
Девочки, а можно еще вопрос?
Да.
А у вас все такие темы как бы специфические, ну, наоборот, связанные с лингвистикой. А я взяла тему прям медицинские продукты, рассказать про новинку.
Ну и
Как-
ладно, а что такого?
Я
Они все связаны с языком.
можете выбрать любую абсолютно тему.
Конечно, не переживай.
Правда, я не знаю, кто-нибудь что-нибудь поймет про этот продукт, нет? Но я постараюсь поинтереснее
Ну,
как
правильно.
Сделаем
рассказать.
вид, что мы
Вчера.
поняли. Мы обещаем тебе.
Видео я подгружать не буду. Страсти напасти показывать.
Ну, блин, самое-самое интересное.
Самое интересное это было бы, да, видео.
Да ты зайчка такой, усечка моя. Мой зайчик спит просто.
Мой
Он в это время сидел
У
здесь.
вас у всех котики?
Нет,
Котик дома.
У тебя,
Рыб.
да, Василис?
Рыб.
А Вик, у тебя нету котика, да?
да, у меня нет
У
котика.
меня тоже нет
А
котика.
значит,
Всех
Евгений
должен быть
Дмитриев
свой
просит
котик.
перерыв.
У нас перерыв. Пошлите
Все,
есть.
окей.
Перерыв, да, у нас?
Я как тот вот этот вот резиновый человек, который вот так вот.
Ну,
Так, ну
короче,
все,
да.
давайте встретимся через 15 минут,
Ох,
возможно.
хорошо,
Хорошо.
понятно. Пойду поем.
Пойду поем тоже.
Окей.
Girls, can we continue? Ой, у меня прям вообще, у меня все зависло, ничего не двигалось. И мне пришлось с кнопки бедный компьютер, пока он становится, перезагружать, да. Прям. Так, а this... Vika here, Masha here, Dasha here. Natalia here. Dasha. Okay, you're here. Так, so we didn't discuss the structure and so the presentation as a whole. Do you have anything to say about Dasha's presentation? Ну ладно. Ну нет, так нет. No, so as for the structure, yes, in the introduction was everything was clearly said. Yes, the structure, what is going to be. Although there were not enough signposting, I heard only the last one when you said, and finally we can come to benefits. Yes, so but before you started with, yes, let us start the first, but between them you didn't signpost. But everything was clear in the introduction, although there was, again, I wanted some hooks, maybe rhetorical questions or statistics. So you had statistics, yes? I would maybe move it to the introduction. For example, do you know how many bilinguals are there in the world? Because it's startling. 43%. So it's not what we think. Yes, actually. Or some striking fact. So you had a lot of them. So yes, some false opinions about bilinguals. So you could start with it and give time to think. So can you imagine? Yeah. And it would direct attention more. I wanted to speak about the language. Of course, you should have paid more attention to language. I mean, so to check the stresses, the pronunciation. Yeah, so I started at first. I started writing your mistakes, but then I understood that it is in vain because it just stopped. So for me, sometimes it was difficult to understand. That's why I saw extraordinary context, area, aspects, processes, classroom. So neither, or maybe not. No, so I don't understand what I have written, but so there were a lot of. Moreover, then you had in the end you tried to say "привет" in different languages. Yes, of course it should. You should have again made pauses between them. No, how could we understand so quickly? Hola, yeah, hello, bonjour. So it's because it's interesting. Yeah, you could. Or you could again have asked rhetorical questions. So let's check what is English. What is Spanish for? Hello. Yeah, and work with the
But I have rhetorical questions. У меня они были риторические вопросы.
Yeah. I mean, no. So no. I tried to underline more. So that you could more hooks. Yeah, no. It was not enough. Wait, I wanted to speak about connectors. It's not only about Dasha. I didn't hear today connectors at all. For example, in Antoinette's speech, I forgot to tell. Yes, Antoinette, you always used, of course. Yeah, can we use other connectors? So yeah, and they help to make your speech. They help make your speech logical. Yeah, so first, second, third, obviously. Consequently, finally, so nevertheless, and so on. We have a lot of them in the book. Yeah, just it's very difficult to use, as we are non-native speakers, it's very difficult to use them on the spot, so they should be just prepared to connect your parts. No, yeah, as for men of speech, that was shy bit. Yes, I would you be more sure in yourself, and so make pauses. Yeah, so but all in all, it was quite well prepared. Yes, it is seen that so Dasha thought about it. Yes, she tried to. So she followed the structure. Yes, and so on and so forth. So okay, and we have 2 more presentations are going to have.
Even 3.
No, Natalia, as far as I know, you are not going to present today, yeah?
Maybe
Next
can I protect another day?
Yeah, no, so just as for our credit, we have 1 more class. I don't know, online, offline, but we have it. Yeah, on 28th or 29th, I don't remember.
Зачет.
No, actually, yes, credit. So that's I'll invite everyone. Yes, in any case, we will have a class, an audience. No, those who are free, that is just you will be listeners. Так, so Vasilis, your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Then I should understand this thing. How to open everything at once. No. 1 second. It's just too much for me. Too much technologies. Okay, can you hear it or see it? No?
Yeah, I see
See.
everything.
Yes,
See.
yes, yes. I see it
Yes.
and I see you.
Oh, interesting, because I don't see you. It's a bit, I'm a bit nervous because of that. Well, okay. Hi everyone, it's so good to see so many of you today. Just a few words about myself. My name is Vasilisa, I'm a linguist, but recently I started to broaden my horizons by studying work and business related topics. Today I'm going to be talking about work-life balance. The main goal for us today is to understand the patterns I'll be talking about and try to change them. I believe totally that everyone will learn something new today, and you'll see, I'm not lying. The presentation will last around 15 minutes because I have 3 parts and I'll cover them one by one. I'd be glad to take any questions in the end of my presentation, so keep it to yourself for the first during my presentation. Now we can finally turn our attention to the presentation itself. Firstly, we will talk about embracing our emotions at work. No matter how hard you might try, you cannot just flip a switch when you step into the office and turn your emotions off. Feeling feelings is a part of being human. There is a myth that emotions don't belong at work, so you should be stoic or even cold. But research shows that actually in that moment of being vulnerable with your colleagues or boss, actually we feel connected to that people. We try harder, we perform better, and we are just generally kinder. So it's about time that we learn how to embrace emotions at work. Now, that's not to say that you should suddenly become a feeling fire. There is a line between sharing, which builds trust, and oversharing, which destroys it. So if you suddenly let your feelings run wild at work and give people far more information, you make everyone uncomfortable, and you also undermine yourself. So, for example, you had a bad night, a bad day. You can actually write it, but you don't need to go into every lurid detail about your condition. So there is a wide spectrum of emotional expression. On the one hand, we have under-emoters, people who have a hard time talking about their emotions, their feelings. And on the other hand, we have over-emoters, people who constantly share everything that's going on inside, and neither of these types of people create a healthy workplace. So what's the balance between these two extremes? It's called selective vulnerability. Selective vulnerability is opening up while still prioritizing stability and psychological safety for both you and your colleagues. Luckily, anyone can do this, and now we have 4 ways to get started. First of them is to flag your feelings. We all know that bad moods are contagious. So if you're, for example, cross your hands or suddenly hammering on your keyboard, so actually everyone around you will start to notice that something is wrong, and people may think that they are the cause. So you actually can, if you don't say anything, people will can be upset because of it. So you can actually just say, I'm having a bad morning, that's okay, that's not connected to you. So actually try to maintain this balance between your daily life and your work. Second thing is to identify what's going on. So if you suddenly start to find everyone irritating, sit back and reflect. Maybe you are irritated because you're worrying, and you're worrying because you have this deadline that is like a big shadow hovering under you. So actually, you may just try to speak to your co-workers and say that I want to make sure that I get everything done. So please, can you help me with realistic plan to do that? Another way to embrace your emotions is to put yourself in their shoes. So if you're thinking of sharing something and you feel that that will help you and that you will feel supported, then share it. But if it gives you any kind of pause, you might want to leave it out. And finally, read the room. If everyone on your team is quite stressed and anxious, you may try to put some action into it, and you could suggest that you could go through a manager and speak to them about the maybe weekly meeting could be pushed back a day, so you have more time to prepare with your group. So actually, you're showing that you're invested in your success, and you are caring about your co-workers' well-being. So when we can be honest about our feelings, we can actually be more connected, and we are happier. So therefore, we can feel more productive. So we can all take a moment to reflect and think about our own. So if you're under emoted, so you can try to open up a little bit, and if you're over emoted, you can try to edit yourself in some situations. It's actually makes a big difference in how people respond to you. So selective vulnerability might become one of your most valuable tools. So during this pandemic, actually, we are all working remotely, and that's why we can actually feel, we can actually face a burnout. So you might think that working remotely is maybe an introvert stream, but actually you're not just hidden behind a computer, sitting in your pajamas. You actually, it can be actually a nightmare for a person. Far away, the worst part of remote work is video calls, because they are like performances. So you're actually on stage performing, and it can cause social anxiety. So all these people behind their screens, they seem too far away from you. So actually, it takes a lot of energy to communicate this way. But we can try to manage this remote work, and we have 3 ways to do that. First way is to pay attention to ritual and routine. So when we were working on a daily basis without that pandemic style, we had these rituals, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe a little chat or with a coworker. Now these are gone. So how can you recreate these breaks? The key is to be intentional. Actually, you can just listen to music, or maybe have a pep talk with your friend. Another, just walking around the block, so you can have a fresh air. Maybe doing some exercises, so before the next conference you're having online. Second way is to manage pace, place, and space. You can think of pacing as managing the interaction because it takes a lot of energy to be on all the time. So you can try to schedule fewer video conferences because we remember that these are performances. What about space? Even though we're working at home, we should try to differentiate this space. We should try, even if your work is in the kitchen, you can try to make it more clear that now it is your workplace, that it's different. It's not your kitchen. Try to find that balance. Maybe it's just decorations, maybe it's just finding this comfortable position. Anything can work in that way. And another thing connected with space is to build some time alone. So this time includes, mostly for a lot of people, the time away from kids, because it's really key to avoiding burnouts. Another thing we should focus on is managing the room. So even remotely chatty introverts tend to dominate. So we can, being a leader, being in the position of a leader, you can try to create this atmosphere of comfortable talk among all the people. So brainstorming at that point can trigger social anxiety, and instead you could create this space where people can write actually their ideas before this brainstorming session. Another thing to remember, it's really, let's say, productive to use audio instead of video, because we actually communicate more emotion via audio alone. So, and the last one here, to try asynchronous communication, it means that if we have some complicated or provocative one-on-ones, we can try to record or video or memo and send it to the coworker, so then they can respond at the time they are comfortable with. And the last point of our talk, actually, it's quite entertaining, maybe than the previous two, because it's connected to our relationships with money. So, as Bob Marley said, open your eyes, look within. Are you satisfied with the life you're living? So actually, it's a good time to start reflecting. If you're thinking about it, then that's the right time. So now we will think about it. Think about money. So when you think about it, you're looking at your account and you're like, oh, it doesn't align with my dreams. So when you ask these questions, what does money mean to me? A lot of people feel anxious, and after that, insecurities come. So I think we have this fraught relationship with money because it comes with judgment. So when you are not able to pay your bills on time, you may think that you are not smart, you are not worthy of earning money. So actually, we don't want anyone to know about it, and you also don't want people to think about your stressing position at that time. So we should try to change that narrative. And first thing is to talk about it. So you cannot do it alone. So your people, friends, family, actually they can come in and actually help you with that. So we can actually talk about it, discuss it, celebrate the fact that we've made a decision to improve our relationship with money. And once you've done it, it gets real. So we can actually we can actually start asking ourselves questions like, why am I spending all this money on things that I don't align with my dreams? What are my dreams? What are my hopes? What are my fears? So after that, we can try to set these goals weekly, monthly, yearly, it doesn't matter. And we can try to do it step by step. Another thing that we should focus on, understand what money is. Money is not the end-all be-all. Actually, it's just a mechanism to accomplish our dreams. So we should always keep that in mind, that it's not all environment that we have money. It may take some time, but it will actually help you a lot on that point. Number 3, identifying what matters to us. That is an easy one, but because we have these questions always in our minds, like what am I saving for? And you can actually try to divide it into short-term goals and long-term goals. So, for example, you're saving for a car, or you're trying to pay your debt. It can be anything actually, but you can try to personalize it and make it alive at that point. Number 4, we should picture it. And at that point, we have this thing as visual board, visual representation. So actually, a lot of people think, like, how can that help me? That's just a board with pictures and something. But when you have this picture, when you have all these pictures from magazines, cutouts, or maybe, I don't know, you have some bright glitters and something, it catches your attention, and actually you are believing at this time in your dream more and more every day. So you can actually try to, let's put it like that, try to live your dream at that point. Yeah. Another thing, 5th point, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. It's about understanding, do I have the ability with what I'm making to take care of my basic needs? And if not, what adjustments do I need to take? Here we have, like, modern society gives us a lot of tools actually for that. We have some apps. We can actually use some old school methods, like just a jar and to put money. Actually, it's not about the amount, but about the time. You should be consistent. It's not about putting 100 rubles every day, but being consistent and do it every time, every week, every month, whatever pace is comfortable for you. And we have these impulses, yeah. We can just go shopping, we are always like putting something in our cart, then just don't hit buy. Like now, pandemic, online shopping, don't hit buy button. Just wait for 24 hours and go back and ask yourself, like, do I really need that? And then, if not, so you can hit delete and actually got your fix. And the last point is to be good to yourself. It's also important to know that your worth is not determined by your net worth. So you can celebrate your wins, and if you mess up, and it happens, just don't judge yourself. There should be no shame, no judgment. You just get back at it and try again. That's all I had to say, actually. To recap briefly, emotions are valid. We were speaking about it. Embracing emotions at workplace. We can try to manage it, and it's not that hard, but you should try it. Remote work can be stressful. We are now facing it everywhere, actually, starting working in different areas. But we can actually cope with it and stick to our plan. And the last point, money balance between savings and spendings is actually existing. Yeah, it exists, and you can actually improve it if you want. Just pay attention to it and don't be ashamed of it. It's a taboo. It can be taboo, but we can actually try to break that pattern. In conclusion, I hope that this presentation has given you motivation to make your daily life better and not forget about your well-being. So now I would be happy to answer your questions. Yep.
Actually, during your presentation, there were actually 3 topics discussed. And which one is the most important for you?
For me, I suppose the most important is the first one, because it's like this general introduction to the second and the third. The third is way more entertaining at that point, because it uses all these like enumerating techniques, and you can actually stick to that. And the second point is good just during this time, because we have this pandemic, but it can be not very valid in the future. So the most valid may be in this position, the first one. The general. Yeah, I was worried, so I made a lot of mistakes when pronouncing words, but I'm sorry for that. My tongue is my enemy. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. It happens even in Russian, so I'm like, okay.
It's a normal state. See, and you shouldn't think about this. We discussed it a lot. Any questions?
Yeah, so can you tell me, please, what is your personal relation to money? So you talked about the way that we shouldn't be frustrated sometimes when, like, we have some financial problems, so do you follow these advices, or sometimes you have to struggle with that?
Okay, I got you. Actually, yeah, when you become adult, actually you have to have this bank account and have to earn money. So yeah, I faced this during my bachelor degree. I had 2 part jobs, so it was quite demanding. But at the time, I was like, oh, I have money now. But you may, because of this flow, money flow, you can actually start doing some, I don't know, oblivious things. So that's why when I started to use some apps, when you can actually see what was spent, like transportation, maybe some, I don't know, services and whatever. So I like it actually, and I use a lot of them, but not all, because, for example, for a vision board, I don't have just space for it. I don't have a big wall, but I'm still thinking about it as maybe making it in a digital way, but not like in a material. But material way is better because you can touch it, you can see it, you can actually put some effort in it. Some ways, like it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Actually, yeah, I really like it because maybe it's just my personality, but I've tried to organize my finances. So now I'm really, I don't have much impulses to buy something, to be like, oh, that's so beautiful, I like it now. No, I actually don't have this. And maybe I'm a bit boring because of this, but actually I'm rarely fascinated by that. But my mother is a bit different at that point. Yeah. And actually, I like to have control over my life. So it may help people with anxiety, maybe some sort of unstable, I don't know how to say, condition, like when you don't believe yourself sometimes, so you have to do something to see that I'm like doing something right or wrong, so I'm doing something. That's why I think that's really suitable for a lot of people now. But as for everything in this world, it's not for everyone. We should always find our ways, but we should try. Before finding our way, we should always try something new. That's why, yeah, I'm using some of these techniques, and I encourage people to do that because you can actually like it and it may help you. So why not? You're not wasting money by that. So,
Yeah. You've mentioned some apps right now, as far as I've understood, for controlling your finances, yeah? So can you name them as advice, some of them, if they're good?
Yeah, actually, a lot of apps, not a lot, but some of the apps may be, you have to purchase them, but I have a version, maybe not that like updated, as every app has this updated, broadened version, but I have this one, Coin Keeper. So it's like coin, yeah, keeper. So we keep our coins, yeah, and that's actually cool because I have these categories, for example, where I can see that was food, that was services, entertainment, transportation, and some just shopping, maybe just telephone number, yeah, some balance. So yeah, I like it so much.
Is it connected to your bank card so that it could track where?
No, I actually do it myself. I don't know. I'm still struggling. Yeah, I know that there are some apps that can actually do it like automatically. Yeah, but I don't know. When I do it, I actually see it. I suppose it's way more comfortable for me because I really like see it because I'm not always using my cards. Yeah, my Sberbank card. So sometimes we're just using cash, and yeah, that's why I'm doing it just myself. And yeah, I'm keeping track all through the whole month. And then I have these updates like, oh, you've done that, you've spent all your money on that categories, and I'm like, yes, okay, I believe you because I did everything myself.
One more question. Do you follow this strategy when you are going to buy something and you take your time reflecting whether you need this thing or not? Does it work with you?
Yeah, actually, maybe not like putting it into cart, but I'm like, oh, I like this thing. It's really cool. I can make a screen of it or everything. And I might think about it for a week, for a month. And then I'll be like, oh, no, I actually don't want it. Like, so I have this tendency like to not buy something compulsively. I don't know, I've managed to do this because I'm like, I have a week to think about it. Maybe if it's urgent, yeah, like some drugs, but nothing than that. I'm trying to keep it, yeah, keep it clean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope the question session is over. Any comments about the presentation? I want you to make comments, everyone, because it shows that you analyze and you know something.
Vasilisa followed the structure, and at the beginning she mentioned for plan and the positive thinking as well. Some credentials were given for us as well, and speaking about books, well, there was something personal told by you, if I'm not mistaken, at the beginning. So, and actually about the topic of presentation, that was, yeah, as again Dmitry mentioned, it split it somehow into a bit different spheres, and thus I just had to switch my attention to different parts and try to connect them logically, so that's not to lose the line of your speech.
Yeah, I was just deciding whether I should speak about something like just one thing, but then I couldn't find this like how to say it.
It seems
It's
that
like
you were thinking about this topic, and this, and then you decided, okay, why not to speak about all three of them? But unfortunately, the title of your presentation didn't reflect this topic. So, what the way we work? No, okay, I can connect it to the first one, to the second one. I can't connect it to the money in relation to money. And they are not connected between each other.
Just connected on the basis of work.
So you can just, and moreover, it was quite long, maybe too long, because the structure was inside every of this point. So all three had its own structure, actually, and you even had hooks like introductions in all of them. You like imagine, close your eyes, and give and conclude it, everyone. So it seems to me that you just could divide it into three presentations and give three presentations.
Maybe I should have done that.
So what I liked, this is visual. I can imagine how much work you did working on these visuals. Although maybe some of them shouldn't be, even you could have done even less, because some of them were too quick to understand the meaning of them. So I was trying to listen to you and connect it with the picture, and so I couldn't connect because I didn't have enough time. No, probably yes. It was over this and the new picture, and tried to fix it. So just maybe not so often, because it demands some effort. But it's much easier to look at the pictures and to listen to them. For example, as the girls had a lot of text on the screen. Yes, and when you're listening to the text, to the one version, and then you need to read the another one, it's much more difficult if you have the text. So I suppose it should be just a couple of sentences, attracting attention or structure, something like this. Speaking about pictures, there was some picture selective structure of selective vulnerability. There were three circles.
I can show it now.
Yes, so you should have definitely have stopped on it. Have some time maybe comment upon it, because I failed even to read.
Yeah.
I didn't manage, so didn't have enough time to read, moreover to understand. So maybe, but as far as I understand, it was quite useful. So it needed comments. I liked. So you used a lot of techniques. That I liked so much. Yeah, she even spoke about benefits in the end. Did you pay attention? Yes, and she made them so clearly. So this is a positive point. As for manner of speech, you didn't cope with your tempo.
Yes, sometimes it's just.
You were extremely worried. No, I remember that when we tried it last time. Yes, when you obligatory paid attention to your speech, you did it much better than today, because there were less pauses. Yeah, and you were in a hurry. That's why, by the way, maybe there was a problem with pictures, because you were speaking too fast. This moment was a bit worse than last time. And I didn't like the question and answer session. You didn't control it. Actually, it was long as your presentation was. It shouldn't be so. Yes, okay. I understand. So your answers were not to the point. No, they were not to the point, but there were a lot of water, so to say, extra water as well. Yeah. So one to settle this, and that's all. And you see, Mary started asking and asking and asking. You could have stopped her. So, politely. So I'm sorry, but when the time is over, yeah.
Get out.
No, yeah, because it's all in all, you see, it's not 50, it's 45 minutes for your presentation. So I suppose it's not 15. That's as you promised. So that's why. Okay, but nice. It was. I see that you worked a lot on this. Yes, of course, it's obvious. Great, Mary. Finally, Mary.
Finally. Time has come. Yeah.
Try not to do it longer than half an hour, because half an hour left.
I'll try to do my best. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is nice.
Nice that you asked about it. Yes. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. And it's nice to see all of you here, and it's a great chance for us to discuss some topics today which probably would be interesting for you. So I've prepared actually some credentials here, as I was expecting new audience and I wanted to make friends with them. I even wrote my contacts here. Okay, but anyway, you know me, so I'll move to the next point. What I'm going to talk today is emotional intelligence, and actually you will probably ask, what is emotional intelligence? And is it connected to IQ? Is it possible to be developed or measured? Well, just wait a bit and we'll move right to the point. So have you ever had difficulties while interacting with others? Have you ever noticed that your emotional state captures your mind, and it makes you weak? Or on the other hand, it makes you powerful? Have you ever dreamt about keeping your emotions under control and emotions of others? So we'll try to answer these questions during our presentation. Here you can see the plan of our today's talk. As you can see, it's going to be divided into 4 parts. The aim of this presentation is to look at the definition, content, and most specific features of EQ, as well as its practical orientation and usage. So I shall only take about 15 minutes of your time, and if you have any questions, you may ask them right when they come to your mind, and I'll be glad to answer them. Right, so we may start here with the first topics about EQ. Where did it come from? Initial theory of EQ appeared 30 years ago in scientific literature. Peter Salovey and John Mayer introduced this term in their article, and you can see the definition of this term on the slide. Before 1990 articles on emotional intelligence, the term was used on occasional basis. It wasn't developed from the scientific point of view, but it was used unintentionally. Moreover, a number of related terms appeared, like feeling function, emotional literacy, or interpersonal intelligence. There were many different studies on related topics. Among them, we can find the empirical ones, aimed at explaining people's accuracy at recognizing emotions in facial expressions and in bodily postures. A number of other researchers became interested in how emotions influence us and our behavior. After publication of the initial article about EQ in 1990, a book about emotional intelligence appeared. It was written by Daniel Goleman in 1995, and the book covered many previous studies and included some new researches on emotions and brain. So strong claims were made about the EQ's contribution to our personal behavior and society. And finally, Times published their new edition with a question on the cover. By the way, it was on the previous slide, so here is the edition of Times with the question about EQ. Thus, the phrase emotional intelligence appeared and it became widely known. Okay, so we move to the next part here, and we're going to talk about the ingredients of the emotional intelligence. Both in Western history and in psychology, emotions and reasoning have been viewed in opposition to one another. But emotions and intelligence can work hand in hand. Well, we all know that emotions affect our relationships with the others and our relationships with our friends, with the family, with situation maybe sometimes, and with the society as well. Emotional intelligence refers in part to an ability to recognize the meanings of emotional patterns and to be able to solve problems with the help of our EQ. There are different approaches to emotional intelligence. One of them is integrative. So it was developed by Mayer and Salovey in 1997. In that approach, EQ draws together abilities from different branches. So you can see all the components of EQ according to that model on the slide. The most basic skills involve the perception and appraisal of emotions. For example, when we were just infants, we learned to perceive emotions in facial expressions of our parents. And when we grew up, we started differentiating between sincere emotions and mere politeness. So we were developing our skills since our childhood. One more important skill is the ability to use our emotional experiences to promote thinking. For example, a manager may use a low energy emotion to help her focus on some detailed job which requires concentration. Well, understanding and reasoning about emotions and using language to describe them is one more relevant aspect here. For example, anger generally rises when justice is denied. Fear often changes to relief, and dejection may separate us from other people. Sadness and anger move according to their own rules and characteristics. For example, it often happens so that at one moment we're filled with anger, and then we feel shame because we let our anger be expressed, and so we offended somebody and we feel shame. The management and regulation of emotions in ourselves and in other people is the last component of this model. So you are to learn how to calm down after feeling angry, or being able to alleviate the anxiety of some other person. So there are also other models of EQ, but we're going to stop just on that very model because it was the previous one and the basis for the others. Let us move to the next point, which is strongly connected to this one. So we're going to talk about how to find your personal EQ and not to lose it. In the past 20 and 30 years, a great number of scales appeared, scales which help us to assess our EQ, and some of them focus on single area of emotional intelligence, and these scales are called specific ability. Other scales cover different aspects of emotional intelligence, and they are called integrative measures. And the most highly developed area of such tests includes tests connected with emotional facial expressions, because usually all our emotions are expressed on our face. And one of the tests is called DANVA. Here it is, so you may see the example of the test screens. So, for example, in these tests, the participants can see a series of 24 faces, and they must indicate the emotions present in given face. Some more examples are situational tests of emotional understanding and situational test of emotion management. So the first one asks questions about a person's ability to react according to a certain situation. So the situation may be low in context and high in context. So please look at the screen. You may see a low context example here. An unwanted situation becomes less likely or stops altogether. So we see no context here. It is just a simple general description of the situation, and we are to choose the emotion. So I'd like to ask you, what would you choose here? An unwanted situation becomes less likely or stops altogether. The person involved is most likely to feel regret, hope, joy, sadness, or relief. I wonder what your answer would be.
Relief.
Yes, that's true. Relief. Well done. And one more example here on the right side is example of high context question. Hazrat tries to use his new mobile phone. He has always been able to work out how to use different appliances, but he cannot get the phone to function. So Hazrat is most likely to feel distressed, confused, surprised, relieved, frustrated.
I doubt between confused and frustrated. No, I think confused. Any more?
Yeah, the same.
Options?
Confused.
Maybe frustrated.
Yeah, that's frustrated.
Frustrated?
Yes, actually that's frustrated.
Yeah, I
Why?
doubted between them.
Well,
It's like, oh, how
yeah,
did it happen?
he didn't expect probably that some problem would come with his phone.
Probably confusion doesn't imply any, doesn't always imply negative emotion, but frustration is connected with negative ones.
Discontented with himself. Let's move to some other examples. Dorian's friend is ill and coughs all over him without bothering to turn away or cover his mouth. It's up to date, especially when we're in public transport. So, what is he most likely to feel? Anxiety, dislike, surprise, jealousy, rage?
I suppose it's
I
very
would say
except
rage.
according to our conditions.
I would
Dislike.
also choose this one.
Rage?
Or
Yes, just
maybe
dislike.
rage.
Maybe
Quite
rage.
choleric.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought about rage too, but it is dislike. Like,
And I
so
was
we-
right. Bingo.
Yeah. Yeah, dislike. And one more example. Kwon and his wife are talking about what happened to them that day. Something happened that caused Kwon to feel surprised. What is most likely to have happened? His wife talked a lot, which did not usually happen. His wife talked about things that were different to what they usually discussed. His wife told him that she might have some bad news. His wife told Kwon some news that was not what he thought it would be. His wife told a funny story.
Probably D.
That is. Yes, it is D. Yes, that's correct. Well done. So you may see that such examples of these tests exist and they're rather interesting and funny. And we're moving further. Integrative model tests are more complicated. So they cover multiple areas of EQ. For example, there is an assessment of children's emotion skills. It measures children's abilities to assess emotions in pictures or faces. Understanding the emotions generally by social situations and social behavior. And one more test, again, the authors are Mayer, Sally, and Caruso. The authors of the article. And can you hear me properly?
Yes. Yes.
Yes? Okay, okay. Just I had a message that something happens with my network. All right, so this test is more complicated and it measures different skills. Perceiving emotions, using emotions to facilitate your thought, understanding emotions, and managing emotions. So you can see here different branches. Each branch contains 2 tasks. So in faces task, test takers view a series of faces and they respond as to how much a specific emotion is presented on the face. The same is about pictures, but usually they are more abstract. And understanding emotions is assessed by blends and changes. So in blends, the participants match combinations of basic emotions to more complex blends. So this test is more complicated, definitely. And one more interesting way to, and a simple one, to assess your EQ, or probably not even to assess your EQ, but to learn how to manage it, is to follow 4 emotional spheres. So I've known about that approach watching performance of Radislav Dendepas, a famous and well-known coach in business sphere. And in his performances, he devoted so he pointed out 4 different spheres which are associated with our emotional states. So they're like fire, water, earth, and air. And so it is easy to identify frustration, anger, maybe anxiety with fire. It's easier to identify some kind of romantic mood, intention to write a poem or to watch a romantic movie with water, and when you're listening to very nice and calm music. So that is that very state. Earth is something which helps us concentrate, study, be focused on certain subject. And air would probably be better for us when we go to the party, when we're filled with positive emotions and energy, we're ready to do something, go right to the stage and perform in front of the audience. And so anticipating something good or waiting for the new year to come, that is air. I'd like to ask you, what is your emotional state like? Fire, water, earth, or air right now?
Maybe a bit of a fire for me.
Fire, okay.
It's still a bit worrying this time, end of the year. So I have this anxiety, but
Fight, yeah.
yeah,
Energy to fight.
fight or die. Yeah, this mode.
Okay. Any other variants?
Well, I suppose my state is mostly water, especially in the end of the year, because like when you're thinking that you're able to finish some special deals, solve some problems probably, and then you're keeping calm, and so it's mostly water, I suppose.
Yeah, that is definitely water. Okay. Any other spheres of your mood? All right. So thus it is easy for us to identify what kind of activity is more preferable for each of these emotional spheres. Thus, for example, it is easier for us to do some sport exercises while we are on fire, and it's easier to go jogging in the morning or, well, train for quite a long time in the sport gym. At the same time, it would be easier for us to do some creative tasks when we are in this very state, or probably just to have a nice talk with your dearest one in the evening. Earth is more preferable for studies and for some detailed, scrupulous work, while air is the best one for parties, for something active, probably. And thus, consciousness and conscious approach here is essential, because you may follow your mood and the way it changes, and you may identify the mood of the others and the way you must behave with them in order to make contact. So this very theory probably is, how to say, promoted by Gandapas in his performances, and you may also know a bit more about them if you follow his performances. There are some free videos online, or some of them are for payment. All right, so we've come to the end of our presentation, and if you still doubt about the importance of EQ in your everyday life, look at the statistics. EQ is a foundation for many relevant skills like time management, communication skills, and self-awareness. It has a great impact on your success in career in more than 58 cases. 90% of high-performance workers are high in EQ as well, and just 20% of low performance are high in EQ. You can be a high performer without EQ, of course, but, well, chances are rather slim. And people with high EQ earn $29,000 per year more than low EQs. So EQ is a very strong driver of leadership as well. No matter what level of EQ you have now, the most important thing is that it is a skill and you may improve it and work on it. And you may also look at the quotation, which I liked and decided to put at the end of the presentation. Leadership is all about emotional intelligence. Management is taught, while leadership is experienced. So, thank you for your attention, and I hope that this presentation was useful for you, and I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have some.
So I may I start? I have two questions for you, maybe. So the first one is about statistics. So is the statistic for certain country or just whole the world?
Yeah, that was done by some Australian statistics company. So, and I found it in the book Emotional Intelligence. So I think that it is more general than, not probably for a specific country, but for certain data which they received from their inquiries.
Okay. And the second question. So you showed us different tests, and so what's your personal opinion? Can we trust in these tests, or there are some exceptions? Okay, maybe there are some exceptions.
Well, all the tests are quite different. Some of them are more complicated, and I think that it would probably be better for us to make these like complicated tests to cover as many spheres of EQ in ourselves as we could. Speaking about my personal experience, well, there was a kind of a course offered by Sberbank for those who work with them. And so it was about EQ as well. And there were some tasks like short pieces of videos, and you should find out what emotions the characters felt. And some of the questions weren't really, well, it was difficult to assess the emotions. So like the answer was completely different. It was like we thought about, yeah, rage and dislike, or about other examples. So sometimes it is rather subjective, I suppose. It is such a subtle sphere that it should be studied properly, yeah, and from different angles. Maybe if we'd like to assess our EQ properly, we should do a kind of a, I don't know, maybe several tests or more complex tests to check it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So no other questions? So, but no, yeah, Mary, it was perfect. So actually, as for this, I don't know how you did it, but you managed to, although the presentation was 25 minutes. Yes, it was quite long, but she managed to entertain the audience. She managed to speak to the audience, to involve them. She used, I don't know, citations, rhetorical questions, so everything she could find. Statistics, yes, studying statistics. Nice. Or signposting. It was obvious, yeah, when the next part started. So it was really easy to listen to. You made pauses, so I liked it very much. No, as for I had 3 courses. From these 3 courses, I suppose it was the best one. I mean, 3 courses of 3 groups, yes, who made presentations. It was really profound. So thank you. Good example. I suppose maybe I should keep this recording and show it as an example for analysis. Yeah. So I have no question. Actually, yes, I want everyone to be present on during the credit class. I have no questions to Vasilisa, Nastya, and Vika, but we need you as experts, so evaluators, and so on. Yeah, for the last class. So, girls, after others, yes, Natalia, Antoinette, Dasha. So, as I have never heard you except for today, yes, with your opinions and your analysis, and try to join in Moodle your so pieces, as I told to Antoinette, yes, pieces of your work with your own presentation. So it Dasha joined. I saw, yes, some materials, yes. So I will see it, and so there was some analysis. And so the same, Natalie, about UK. Please, so you don't only prepare the presentation, because I've never
prepare a presentation.
Yes, you prepare presentation, and besides, yes, so some pieces of presentation should be worked out with the help of the tasks which we did before. Yes, so I mean the quotations, so maybe analysis of the video. So because now you have a lot of missed classes, and Donat missed all of them before, and so I don't have anything to evaluate it, just to come and put your credit. No, so that on the basis of what. So please, yes, but just not choose the tasks, especially for Natalia, which help you to prepare for your presentation. Yeah. So I mean, maybe not with others, but to work with your own one. Question?
I prepare a presentation about medical products.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
But I don't want to include video because
No, not include. I mean, we had a lot of tasks with analyzing video, analyzing speeches, yes, the structures, or some lexical language level. So the same from the books, and so they are all in Moodle. I mean that I need from you not only presentation, but some tasks for missed classes. That is what I mean. So okay, if everything is clear, so see you on credit, yes, during credit class, and I hope we'll say no. We will be able to wish Happy New Year, yes, each other. So that's all for today. Let us be free. Bye. Thank you for the presentation.
Bye.